Global tension. Russia surpasses the United States in the race for the Arctic. The Arctic is changing. The ice is melting at an alarming rate. This opens up new possibilities. Sea routes that were once blocked by ice are now accessible. Huge reserves of oil, gas, and minerals are within reach. This new Arctic has unleashed a global competition. Russia, the United States, Canada, and even China are vying for influence. The Arctic is becoming a new geopolitical battleground. The melting ice also poses a serious threat. Rising sea levels are endangering coastal communities. The fragile Arctic ecosystem is at risk. The world is watching as the Arctic transforms. The future of the Arctic is uncertain. Will it be a place of cooperation or conflict? The answers will have global consequences. Russia has always recognized the strategic importance of the Arctic. It has the longest Arctic coastline of any nation. It has invested heavily in icebreakers, ports, and military bases. Russia's northern fleet patrols the Arctic waters. New airfields and radar stations enhance its military reach. Russia is determined to be the dominant power in the Arctic. This assertive stance worries other Arctic nations. They see Russia's actions as a threat to their own interests. The potential for conflict in the region is growing. Russia claims its actions are purely defensive. It argues that it is simply protecting its own territory and resources. However, its military buildup has increased tensions. The melting ice has opened up a new maritime route, the Northern Sea Route. This route runs along Russia's Arctic coast. It connects Asia and Europe, significantly reducing travel time. Russia sees the Northern Sea Route as a huge economic opportunity. It could become a maritime superhighway, rivaling the Suez Canal. Russia is investing billions in infrastructure to make this happen. Other nations are skeptical of Russia's ambitions. They are concerned about Russia controlling this vital route. They question the safety and environmental impact of increased shipping traffic. The Northern Sea Route remains a risky proposition. The ice is unpredictable. The infrastructure is still under development. However, its potential is undeniable. The Arctic is not just about shipping routes. It holds vast reserves of natural resources. Oil, natural gas, minerals, and fish abound in the region. These resources are becoming more accessible as the ice melts. This has sparked a race to claim these Arctic treasures. The potential for conflict is high. Countries are asserting overlapping claims. Environmental concerns are often ignored in the pursuit of profit. The Arctic's resources are a double-edged sword. They offer economic opportunities, but they also carry significant risks. Sustainable development and international cooperation are crucial. The Bear's Claw. Russia's military buildup. Russia has embarked on a major military buildup in the Arctic. It has reopened Soviet-era bases and built new ones. It has deployed advanced weapon systems, including hypersonic missiles. Russia's Arctic forces are trained for extreme conditions. They conduct regular exercises to maintain their readiness. Russia wants to be prepared for any eventuality in the region. This buildup has alarmed NATO members. They are concerned about Russia's ability to project power in the Arctic. They are increasing their own military presence in the region. The Arctic is becoming a focal point for military competition. This increases the risk of miscalculations and conflict. Dialogue and confidence-building measures are needed to reduce tensions. The Sleeping Giant. America's Arctic Awakening. The United States is an Arctic nation, with Alaska as its northernmost state. However, it has lagged behind Russia in Arctic development. Now the United States is waking up to the Arctic's importance. It is investing in icebreakers, upgrading its Arctic bases, and increasing its military presence. The U.S. Coast Guard plays a vital role in the Arctic. It patrols the waters, conducts search and rescue operations, and enforces maritime law. The United States faces challenges in catching up with Russia. It has a smaller icebreaker fleet and less experience operating in extreme Arctic conditions. The competition is heating up. A race against time. Closing the Arctic gap. The United States is playing catch-up in the Arctic. It is investing in new icebreakers, but it will take years to close the gap with Russia. The United States is also strengthening its partnerships with other Arctic nations. It is conducting joint exercises and sharing information to improve coordination. The United States is emphasizing diplomacy and international cooperation in the Arctic. It is working with other nations to develop rules for responsible Arctic governance. The race for the Arctic is on. The United States is determined to protect its interests and maintain a credible presence in the region. The stakes are high. NATO's role in the Arctic, a balancing act? NATO is a military alliance, but it also plays a role in the Arctic. Several NATO members have territory in the Arctic, including the United States, Canada, and Norway. NATO conducts exercises and patrols in the Arctic to deter Russian aggression. It is also working to improve its ability to operate in extreme Arctic conditions. NATO's role in the Arctic is controversial. Russia views NATO's presence as a provocation. It accuses NATO of trying to militarize the region. NATO maintains that its actions in the Arctic are defensive and proportionate. It argues that it is simply responding to Russia's military buildup. Cooperation on thin ice, the Arctic Council. The Arctic Council is a forum for cooperation among the 8 Arctic states. It addresses issues such as environmental protection, sustainable development, and the rights of indigenous peoples. The Arctic Council has played a valuable role in promoting dialogue and cooperation in the region. It has helped to manage disputes and find common ground. However, the Arctic Council's work has been hampered by geopolitical tensions. The war in Ukraine has led to the suspension of Russia's participation in the Council. The future of the Arctic Council is uncertain. It remains to be seen whether it can overcome the current political divide and continue its important work. A delicate balance, protecting the Arctic environment. The Arctic environment is fragile and under threat. Climate change is causing the ice to melt at an alarming rate. This is having a devastating impact on wildlife and indigenous communities. Pollution from shipping, oil and gas exploration, and mining are also major concerns. The Arctic ecosystem is slow to recover from damage. International cooperation is essential to protect the Arctic environment. Countries must work together to reduce emissions, promote sustainable development, and conserve biodiversity. The fate of the Arctic is intertwined with the fate of the planet. What happens in the Arctic will have global consequences. The future of the Arctic: cooperation or conflict? The future of the Arctic is at a crossroads. Will it be a region of cooperation or conflict? The answer depends on the choices that nations make. Cooperation is essential to address the challenges facing the Arctic. Countries must work together to manage resources, protect the environment, and prevent conflict. However, geopolitical tensions are rising. Competition for resources and strategic advantage is intensifying. The risk of miscalculation and conflict is real. The world must find a way to balance national interests with the need for international cooperation. The future of the Arctic, and indeed of the planet, may depend on it.